Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. I'm trying to turn the volume down on some of my other computers to make sure that we can hear each other. Does it very much so creates a background noise in my feed. So I don't know about y'all's, but it's what?
The answer to the pre-show question was Irwin Allen.
Irwin Allen, yes. Yeah, he created Lost in Space, Deep. What was the name of that show?
Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, yes. I watched. See, those all came up, and when they first came out, they were all black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, they later on turned to color, but they were all awesome shows. We were talking about Chris went to a model show and bought, they sell scale models, and now yours is how many inches is that?
When it's built, it'll be 38 inches long.
38. Damn.
Yep. I'm already trying to sort out where it's going to sit, but I'll find a spot.
Well, are you really going to build it or be one of those that you have in your closet that's 350 something models thick, so to speak?
Approaching 400. It's one of the ones I've wanted to build for years, so this one will get built. It won't just be a collection item.
Is that the size of it, Dixon?
This is 38 right here.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's big. I saw the assembled one on the table. It's big. So.
Yeah.
Size matters.
30, 60. My B17 is 71, so it's one wing is this long on my B17.
That's awesome.
I still think you'll do a
Irwin
video
Allen
series
back
on your
in
channel.
his day, the early black and white sci-fi was the man. I mean, Lost in Space,
and
Voyage
he
to
was
the Bottom of the Sea. I mean,
some people call him cheap. I call him frugal because you watch Lost in Space and Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea and Time Tunnel, you'll see a lot of the same equipment.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Same props, same uniform.
Yeah, you do. But did you really pay attention to it back then, or you're just now discovering it?
I'm discovering a lot of it now, but as a kid, a ray gun is a ray gun is a ray gun.
Exactly. I was I watched Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, but my favorite, the one that I grew up, actually Billy Mummy and I am about the same age.
Yeah.
It's actually not Mummy. I always used to call it Mummy for something. It's a Moomy.
Yeah.
His name is Moomy. And I call him
It's
Mummy for years. And I am friends with him on Facebook.
Oh, cool.
And have sent messages to him, and he's told him, I watched Lost in Space from day one. I mean, actually Lost in Space was more favorite to me at my time era than Star Trek was. Now later on I started watching Star Trek and fell in love with it too, but Lost in Space was awesome.
Lost in Space was best when it was the first season, black and white, and it was serious stories.
Yeah.
There was no giant carrot floating around in space.
And then as the seasons progressed, you got a little bit more hokier and hokier and hokier. Yes.
That's because they were up against Batman.
Yes. Yeah. And Batman, to be honest with you, I know it played or got a lot of great reviews, was hokey as crap. when they're climbing upside the building and running into people, and they're like, superstar or.
I liked how they would have a celebrity pop out a window. That was fun.
Yeah, it was like, but that's so hokey, you know what I'm saying?
As an ex-comic book collector and Batman having been my thing, if you read the comic books of that era, they were hokey as hell.
Well, yes, they were. I agree with that. I agree that they were hokey, but
I personally think movies have wrecked Batman.
In the early years of TV. I mean, they were in the early years.
Yeah.
Before TV, there was radio. I remember
listening to radio shows now.
Listening to as a child, because my family was raised on. I was raised on a farm, so we didn't have a lot of money per se. We had plenty to eat, never starved in any way, shape, or form. But as far as money, we didn't have a lot. My dad was a contractor, a builder, and he built houses. But we were by no means we were lower middle class.
Yeah.
And so we listened to radio. I remember our first TV. It was black and white. I remember when he bought it and brought it home. And guess who was the channel changer?
Yeah, my brother was too. So.
Yeah, and we had 3, and then it went to 4. We had 3 channels on our TV. We had channel 13, which I don't even remember if it was ABC, CBS, or NBC. And then we had 13, we had 10, and we had channel 8. The channel 13 and channel 8 channels were in Tampa. The channel 10 channel was in Orlando, and we had a little bit of a problem picking it up as good as 13 or 8. So,
and sometimes in the 70s we found UHF, and boy was we tickled. We had 5 channels.
Yeah, they went to the UHF side, and then you had a lot better. That's where I met. We got channel 44 in out of Tampa on the UHF side, and that's where Dr. Paul Bearer became a Creature Feature, became the notorious. Every Saturday afternoon between 2 and 4, it was Creature Feature, and he had 2 movies back to back, and they were terrible old movies. He played the old black and white Draculas and all the other, the old original Frankenstein movies and stuff.
Our area, we had Creature double feature on Saturday right after wrestling, and it was hosted by Uncle Dale Dorman, everybody's favorite DJ on the radio. So.
Cool. We didn't have a host. We just had Chiller Theater, and it came on at like 11:30 on Saturday night or Friday night or something like that.
Aussie Man said, "Why hasn't any one of you guys printed a Lost in Space robot?"
I have never printed one, but I have 2 that I purchased over the years, and also purchased the. Do you remember the show Robbie the Robot, which came from?
Yeah.
What was the name of the movie? Can't think of it. Here, I gotta look it up because it's gonna drive me crazy.
Robot Chicks in Space. Oh, that was another movie.
Robot Chicks in Space.
I know the movie he's talking about, but I can't think of the name. It was one of those cheesy sci-fi movies.
Actually, was rated as one of the highest.
The special effects for the time were outstanding.
Yeah.
But when you go look at it now,
Forbidden Planet.
Yep.
Forbidden Planet. Yeah, that's him. I've got one of those. I've got one of those myself. Forbidden Planet.
With the very young Leslie Nielsen.
This will be the feature. I'll put batteries in it, and everybody can. This will make
it works too.
Did you print that? Did you
No.
print that, Dixon?
No.
No. I have one of those, and I have two of the Lost in Space robots.
Holy cow. 4 double
I have a
A's.
small one that's about 6 inches or whatever. Then I have a bigger one that's like 10 inches. And both of them to this day work. And I was going back and looking to see who I was here. Aussie Man's here.
Michelle.
Phil Marcoux.
Michelle Marcoux, yes.
Jeff Trains.
Leonard Davis. Call him out if you see him.
Dan Engie.
Rob Hampton. Somebody that does embroidery, Donna's Embroidery Plus.
Dan Engie.
Leonard Davis.
JJE.
Let's see.
Jeff's Train World. Nice to see you out there again. He's been coming in.
Jeff, there's no escaping once you're here.
Yeah.
It's like a train wreck every week. You just can't stop watching it.
Well, here's the thing. It's supposed to be Let's Talk Shop with Russ. We started out talking about woodworking. Now, what the hell? The last couple of shows I've noticed we just went off the track. We just talk about anything and everything.
Well, that's
I don't see it right now, but I've got a model of Gort from when the day the day
the Earth stood still. Gort.
You can put batteries in it and stuff. But every time I do that, I'll put it in the front yard, and the visor will open up, and then it wipes out like 6 neighbors' houses. Well, they won't let me put it outside anymore. I can't.
Hold on, I got to show you something. Will this extend over there far enough, or am I going to have to unplug you?
Dan says, anyone remember My Mother the Car?
Oh,
Yes, I do.
Yes,
I
I do.
remember that.
I know the
remember
show,
that.
but I never watched it.
I remember it. Yes.
That's the one with Grandpa Munster was in that. And boy, so was
Yeah.
Here we
I
go.
3D.
let's
Let
see
me
that.
put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 3D printed this one. I've got 2 of them. This is
I
the
remember that.
smaller one. Oh, come on. How come I get it solo layup? This is the smaller one I first printed. And then I have a 8-inch one that I printed of Gordon.
That's from the day the Earth stood still.
Yes. That's the one
I've got, and it blows
have
up everybody's house.
Episode of Lost in Space that's ever been made. I have The Day the Earth Stood Still. I have Forbidden Planet. I have a lot of those older movies on DVD.
Do you know the word? Do you know the words you're supposed to say to him?
Clacto,
Barada,
Micto, or something.
Yep.
Yeah, that she says to him to let him know not to kill everybody. In other words,
Yeah.
Not to kill her.
I keep forgetting that.
Clacto, Barada,
Nicto.
Let him know I'm okay. Don't kill everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, because he tells her that. He says, you must. He says to her, you must get to him, because that's when he got shot. Yeah. And he says, you must get to him and tell him these words. Otherwise, he's pretty well going to destroy the planet. And so she goes up to him. Remember how he comes towards her and corners her, and she's really scared? And then she says those words to him, and she repeats them, and then he kind of backs off, picks her up, and takes her inside the spaceship and puts her in there and locks her in, and then goes and gets I can't think of his name right now. Goes and gets him and brings him back to the spaceship and brings him back to life.
I remember the robot's doing this because she peed on herself when he cornered her before she could say the word. You remember that?
Get it off.
That was really good.
You're gross.
So it's so realistic. It's such a realistic movie.
Yeah, that was some of my favorite. I think for of the movies, now Lost in Space was my favorite. Then second would be Star Trek. I guess Voyage to the Bottom of Sea would fall in there somewhere. But uh, The Day the Earth Stood Still and Forbidden Planet, as far as movies, were two of my favorite.
The
They
Blob.
will always reign. I bought them as soon as they came out on DVD, and I found them. I think I paid $30 for Forbidden Planet as a DVD, but I was like, I want it. I want to be able to watch it when I want it. Because I'll be honest with you, sometimes I got the 6 CD sets of all of Lost in Space, every one of them. And sometimes when I get sick, I will go in there and literally plug one of those movies in, like Robbie the Robot, like Forbidden Planet. I'll plug it in and lay there and watch it while I'm sick, because it just brings back these fantastic childhood memories.
The only reason why they're all cheesy is because we're older.
Well,
You watched them when we were a little kid.
At the time when they were made, they were actually, did you know they went so far over budget for Forbidden Planet? They actually didn't know that they were going to be able to make it. It was way over budget.
Yeah. Yeah, shoot for
because
the moon.
of all the special effects that they put into it. It was way over budget. But when it went out, it became a hit, and they made all their money back.
And those were really special effects, not CGI.
No.
Yes. Yeah, they created all those special effects. And the same with Lost in Space. A lot of those special effects that was created in Lost in Space, they had to invent them for the movie because they didn't have CGI back in those days.
If they're in space and somebody went outside the ship, they would actually hang these people in the air in front of a black screen with holes poked in it for stars.
I was watching this thing about how they made The Mandalorian, that whole series, and they actually built a soundstage. It's 360 degrees, and it's all LCD panels. So all of the backgrounds in The Mandalorian are actually TV screens, and then they just put the sets in the middle of it. It just it's
similar to what they're doing with Star Trek, Stranger Worlds. The background.
Well, that's what they're doing. Yeah, they're using that all over the place now. But
Michelle Marcoux wants to know when the Earth stood still. Well, if you will get the movie, you can rent it, you can watch it on TV, you can find it on Netflix. All over you'll find out when the Earth stood still.
Just
I think
Google
he's correcting you in the title. When?
Aussie Man says Lost in Space would have been nothing without Dr. Smith. I tend to agree with you, but if you follow, and this show has turned out to be nothing about woodwork anymore. I tend to agree with you because in the beginning of the series, he was the villain.
Yeah,
he was put on there to destroy the ship after takeoff. He was a Russian spy, or I'm not going to say Russian, but he was a spy that was put on there to just set up to the point that it would destroy the ship after takeoff. And he got trapped on board.
The pain.
Yeah, the pain. And then he kind of turned in from that villain character into, I don't think he was so much of a villain character other than he was like a quack. I mean,
troublemaker.
Yeah, a troublemaker idiot, so to speak.
I think the official term these days is pain in the ass.
Yeah. So he went from that to that point where he reprogrammed the robot so that he can control the robot, so he could pretty well control the family or whatever and have his own way or all that other kind of stuff. So he went from a simple character. If you'll read the biography of Lost in Space, he was never supposed to be on other than that first few scenes.
Yeah.
But it ended up working out in his favor because people liked him, and that's kind of evolved his character into something. Because I've read the whole history of Lost in Space, he evolved into that character that they kept on. And in the beginning, if you'll notice, in some of the first few scenes, he didn't have any recognition other than what his real, I can't even think of his real name, but Dr. Zachary Smith is.
Yeah, at the end, they
so
put it in special guest
yeah,
star.
then once he became that pain in the ass character like you're talking about, Chris,
Yep.
he did gain notoriety to the people who wanted him, and he realized it, and his agent, he worked with Irwin. It was Irwin Allen.
Irwin Allen, yeah.
Irwin Allen.
And
See ya.
Paul.
See you, Paul. Be good, man.
See ya.
And his agent put in there that he wanted to be noted as a special or whatever character in his title. And at first, Irwin Allen told him, no, hell no. And because he was negotiating wages at the same time. And they told him, hell no, we'll just cut the character. We don't need him anymore. And so they went back and forth for a little squabble for a little while. But then Irwin Allen, I guess some of the people that the TV stations or whatever, he got feedback from them and said, oh no, he's became a main character.
Yeah.
And if he's just asking for the special character, whatever title on his, when he gets introduced, you might as well give it in, because everything that we feel or we hear about him, he is very much going to be on the show.
Yeah.
You know, his voice was one of the assistant Cylons in Battlestar Galactica.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I did know that. Yeah,
First time I watched that show, I heard that voice. Oh shit, that's
Yeah.
Jonathan Harris.
yeah, Jonathan Harris.
Found out later on, I was right.
He was also the model for all these HOA Karens that you've got out there now. You know, we're just running around looking for problems and causing trouble.
Or creating
Dan
problems that
Ing-
don't exist.
That's
Dan
him. That's
Ing
him.
made a statement back. I had it pulled up and I wanted to read it. Anyway, Dan Inge is out there from Dan Inge
I said that.
Woodworking. I know, but he said something
Oh.
that I was trying to go back and see.
Right. Well, see, he says he had Raquel Welch in Valley of the Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Oh, Dan Aussie Man's the one that said Lost in Space would have been nothing without Dr. Smith, and I
Oh,
agree.
easy.
I totally agree with that. But Dan Inge made a comment earlier that I was looking for. I can't find it now.
Raquel Welch.
No, Raquel Welch and Valley of the Dino. She was hot back in her day. Yeah,
She was hot right up until the day she died.
yeah, she was hot.
What about Bob?
Anyway, he made a statement earlier that I was wanting to reread, but I
couldn't
can't
find it either.
Vicky Rumsey is out there. Who was the lady that had the sewing machine, or the old sewing machine that she had a part that broke and was wanting? It was a wooden part, and she had replacements, but they never really worked. And I told her to send me some pictures to contest, and I would look at it and everything else. I don't know who you are, but you never sent me any pictures. I can tell you that now.
I was wondering where you were going with that for a second. We're just talking about.
No, there was
Space. It's
somebody
talking
about
sewing
2 or
machines.
3 shows that
Let's get back
asked
to
if
TV
anybody was a woodworker that could make
Yeah.
parts, and there was some kind of sewing machine or quilting machine or something she had that had a wooden part on it, and it broke, and she had other people make a piece, and it broke also, and I told her
Spindle? Wasn't it a spindle or something on a spinning wheel?
Yeah, spindle on a spindle. Yeah. And I told her I gave her the contest at Simply Wooden Creations and told her to send me pictures of the part, and I would look at it and I would be willing to help her out. But I've checked my Google account, the contest at Simply Wooden Creations, and she never sent me any pictures. So
A spinning wheel? Aussie said it was a spinning wheel.
Yeah,
it might have been a
spinning wheel.
spinning
We
wheel.
figured-
It might have been a
We
spinning
thought it was
wheel,
the hub
yeah.
where the bearing goes.
Yeah, there you
We
go.
said
That was it, Dixon. That was it. Well, she never sent me any pictures. Let's put it that way. So, and I did look sincerely for days upon days to see if I would get into the pictures, and there everything came. Nothing ever came from her. Okay, so
Vicky
she's got.
Ramsey said, Vicky
I'll
Ramsey
start
said,
off. Yeah, I hope y'all brought some project to show off or talk
Oh,
about
Vicky said it was
instead of this stupid stuff. Anyway, yeah, this is my. This was the I think this is like 6 inches. Yeah, because my hand's 4. This is a 6 inches one, and then I made like a 8 or 10 inch one. But this is
size
board
does count.
from the day the Earth stood still. Awesome movie. And then I was hoping Al would be here tonight because I started making me a Lego Spock. Yeah,
I like that.
I got a print. His for some reason it put how do you want to put it? Supports in his mouth, which should have never been there. I've got to get in there and dig those out and try to straighten it out. But I was hoping to have him finished today, but 2 things happened. Here's his hands. I did get his hands. I didn't know I had to have pins put his hands together. I found that in the parts. So I got his hands and look, he's doing what? Look at his hand. I thought it was
flipping the
cool.
bird.
No, he's not flipping the bird.
Flipping the thumb.
No, he's doing
Live long and
Spock.
prosper.
live
Spock.
long and
I-
prosper in his hand.
I've seen the meme where Captain Kirk told Spock he knew what that meant.
Yeah. So, but I got his hands print and everything. I had to print the pins because I didn't know it needed pins for the arms to have gone. And he actually has eyes, black eyes that will fit in here. And he actually has the Star Trek thank you, emblem that goes in here that's printed separate. You can print it in gold, blue, whatever color you want. I like this particular model because of the fact that it's all in pieces. And but my bamboo has an error, and I have got to fix it. Apparently, a piece of the filament broke off and it's got hung, and I got to find out where it's got hung. So actually, I said, "Well, the hell with it." The V400 prints as good as the damn bamboo, so I've been printing all this off of the bamboo. But his ears needed support and his eyes needed support at the top, but I didn't. There's no supports in the STL that I printed, but yet his damn mouth has supports in it. I got to clean them out somehow.
Why would the eyes need support? You put something black in there, right?
Because the upper part of the eyelids, it's called an overhang,
Yeah.
and you may or may not print him out right, but he has. If you'll notice, he has eyebrows.
Yes.
So I think it helps support it to make sure the eyebrows was in there.
Gotcha. All right.
And then naturally the bottom of his ears had to have supports.
Yeah.
And then he's got his black hair that I got to print. And I didn't realize in my hurry that I could have printed his hair black along with the legs. So I got to go back and reload black to print that. But yeah, he actually looks pretty cool. I'll be honest with you. Especially with his little hand holding up "Live Long and Prosper." So, that's what I've been messing with the last day or so, trying to get it done. And let me get myself out of this.
That's
exit slowly. Anybody else got anything they want to go ahead and show your? If you don't have, you have something you want to show, Dixon?
Yeah, sure. I got
Oh,
something here. I'm not sure if I
Okay,
showed this before, but Jeff's Train World would get a kick out of this also. Let me go get out of this other screen. Here we go. Digitracks for HO scale trains when you want to run them. This is a setup that you have to buy, a beginner setup, and it's $494. That's the Digitracks, and that's to run DCC system with sound and all that for your trains. Well, instead of doing that, I 3D printed this mini computer, and I downloaded JMRI on it, which does the same thing, and it does the same thing that's set up, but it only costs $40. I have an Arduino board in here. It's hard to see, and that's how I run my whole train
and
system.
it does the same thing as the other one does.
Does the same thing as the other ones. All I have to do is, and it's on the network, and I run it all through my phone.
That's awesome.
So it's costed.
So how much do you have involved in that? $50
in this unit? $40.
Jeez.
And they want how much? 400.
They want $500 for their setup.
You come in at 250, you win across the board.
Yeah. And then you just download this software, and it's called JMNR, and then I can run all my
awesome.
units, all my trains. There they are. I just pick which train I want to run, and then the throttle and everything comes up.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool. I envy you in some ways due to the fact that the ability you have to do some of that stuff. It's like awesome. I'm getting, not to your point, your level, but I'm getting every time, everything I increase in my knowledge and a lot of the 3D printing and electronics, like to me, a major milestone was being able to fix my V400, which crashed because of their stupid accelerometer thingy or whatever. That was just getting that back up and running was a milestone for me, trust me. And then Donald, you got any? I know you did your box. You got it where you can show it, or?
Yeah, I think I got. Let me find the image here.
Hey, Dixon, is that software for that thing in GitHub?
The software?
Yeah.
No, you can go on JMRI website, and they got a whole deal where you can. It's so much software, so many things. I have input and output boards with 40 inputs and outputs that you can plug on an Arduino.
Yeah.
And you could run all your crossing lights. I mean, it just goes on and on. You can configure it to do all your switching, crossing lights, street lights, anything that you could throw on an input or output. So you'd get a kick out of it. Because that's right up your alley.
Hang on a second here. I don't have it.
Vicky
on my,
Rumsey. All right, while you're looking for it, Vicky Rumsey said, I've been watching someone who has a big bamboo 3D printer. You should see the many things they've been making.
Yeah.
Bamboo's an awesome printer.
Yeah, they're a good company.
That's a great build, Don. I've seen that. Yes.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That turned out nice.
It did. Looks very, very nice.
What's
Very
going in
nice.
It's a box for a special fight.
it?
Not mine, but a friend's.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's nice.
Humidor. Call it humidor.
Yeah, it's a humidor.
It's a humidor for.
Well, she just retired from her job, so she don't have to worry
Care
about
anymore?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, trust me. For pain, I've been actually by my doctors discussed with me for pain with my back and neck and everything. I don't know that I said this the last time. If I did, refresh my memory, because sometimes but I am definitely going to end up having neck surgery. They're looking probably in June. They want to try a few things, and plus they have to have a full physical to make sure my heart's okay. But I've had a lot of the stuff done. I had a CT calcium scan. I've had numerous 12 leads. So I know my health my body's great. My back and my neck sucks. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but they're looking at probably in the neighborhood of late May, early June for my neck surgery. And the reason they are encroaching on that first is because I'm losing, I won't say rapidly, but I'm losing the dexterity in my hands.
Yeah.
And they're really worried about that. I can no longer hold, I can't hold a solo cup. I have to crush it to hold it so tight so I can hold it. So I have to go to plastic cups. And also I have to have cups with handles on them to be able to hold them to keep them from dropping them.
Mhm.
If you were to drop a penny on the floor, I can't pick it up. I can't feel it to pick it up.
But if it's a $50 bill, he'll get it.
I bet he
Oh,
gets it.
damn sure right. I'll get down and lick that sucker off the floor.
Suck it up.
Vicky Rumsey
Yeah.
said she was the one that asked for the wooden part for her spinning wheel, but couldn't figure out how to send a picture.
All you have to do is send it to contest, and Al's not here at simplywoodencreations.com.
Russell,
If
sounds
you
like
will look, I am under Russell E. Clarity on Facebook. If you will send me a friend request to Russell E. Clarity on Facebook, I will recognize you and I will accept your friend request, and we can do it that way. So, and I'm also under Simply Wooden Creations on Facebook. So, yeah, I will. All you have to do is reach out to one of those things, and I will respond back to you. What was I saying? But they're looking at doing that because they're worried about the dexterity of my hands getting worse, not getting better. They want to do my back too, but the doctor told me from the MRIs that I'd done years ago to the point now, really nothing has changed. They realize I have pain, but he said, you're still walking, you're still doing good, and everything else about that. But in everything that we've read from day one of your reporting of the hands, it's continuously getting worse. And so he says, I think we need to work on your neck first and get your hands fixed and your dexterity fixed first before we go into your back. And he goes, you would be surprised that we have done these surgeries before and people have back problems too. And once we correct the neck, 50% of their back problems go away.
Yeah.
And I said, really? And he goes, yes.
Yep.
They correlate with each other. And he goes, now, I'm not going to tell you that we're going to do the neck surgery and your back surgery is going to go away. But my point being, we see a lot of times that your back will get better once we correct your neck. He goes, so what I'm fearful of, you're progressing very rapidly in your ability with your hands. And he goes, I think we need to do your neck. And he's talking about going through the front of the neck, like Paul said, and I think you said, Jim, they have done that on yours. Yeah. Yeah, they go through the front of the neck to repair it. They said both of the discs are side by side, one on top of the other, so they can't fuse both. So they will repair one and fuse the other.
Wow.
So,
yeah, we
that
all
way
have
you
tools.
won't-
We could do it for you.
Oh, I
Yeah.
kind of figured that.
I already got
There's
that.
a video out there
Probably-
someplace.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. So,
You know, Russell,
looking
there's a
at-
maker video for you. Do a video of this.
yeah, we are looking at the way they're talking as of right now from my last doctor visit, the end of May, 1st of June. And then Paul said, and I don't know how long you were down, but Paul said he was down in a collar for 6 weeks, at least. So
it's amazing.
Okay, Vicky says she doesn't have Facebook and does not know how to get it from her phone to her computer to email.
Does she have
well,
email?
I have it out there. If she just wants to copy and paste it, she can copy and paste it on her computer.
yeah, either that or I'll
The
tell
link.
you what. She don't have Facebook, she said.
That's what she says. And she can't
Okay.
figure out how to get the pictures into her email on her computer.
MySpace? You got MySpace?
Yeah, the old place.
Just take the link I put there and just click on it, copy and paste it, and put it in your computer.
Okay, so obviously you have a computer. So send me a text to contest@simplywoodcreations.com, so I'll have your email address and we'll work on getting the pictures.
Dreadnought
So
joined.
Yes, contest@simplywoodencreations.com. Here, I think I can put.
I think me.
I think I can put that in there.
Put it up here, so she could just copy and paste it.
Yeah, it's in there. It's in the chat. I got it in there already.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did too, so.
Yeah, just send me a text, and so I'll have your email address, and we'll work out some way of getting the pictures.
Yeah, she doesn't know how to get it from her phone to her computer.
Well, I don't know what I can.
What kind of phone does she have?
Yeah.
What kind of phone you
Does
got?
she have an Android or an iPhone?
Take
there she
your
goes.
take your computer and send it to Russ.
Yeah.
And he'll put the address in there and then send it back to you.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can think.
Yeah. I mean, if you have an iPhone or a Android.
She said she can message it to you.
Do a picture to your phone via messaging.
There you go.
Yes, you could do that. You could do that. Yes, you could do that.
But you need your phone number for that.
Well,
I
that's what
will
the
send
email-
it. If she will send me her email, I will send her my phone number so she can call me. But I'm not going to broadcast it out.
Is it almost bedtime?
She says she has an Apple phone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
You have munchkins behind you?
Yeah, then just send me an email, your email to my email, because I know that's got to work on your computer. And I want to contest@simplywoodencreations.com. Once I get your email address, I will send you my phone number, and then we can communicate that way. Because I have an Apple phone too, so you should be able to text me the pictures at that point. You should be able to take a photo on an iPhone and be able to send that to me in a text.
Vicky, there's got to be someone in your neighborhood, your family, you could ask for assistance for this.
Yeah. Unless I can see a picture of it, I would love to help you, and I can pretty well assure you I should be able to replicate something for you, but unless I can see it, I won't be able to tell you.
And don't feel bad.
And I haven't forgotten about you. I've thought about it several times, but I've never got anything from you, so I didn't know that. I try to help people out as much as I can, and some of the fixes that I have done has been what they thought was very hard. I've looked at them and went like, oh, that's easy to replicate. That ain't nothing to it. But I've seen a few of them that went, yeah.
I still lock up my computer and my phone every now and then. I got to hand it to my wife to fix it.
Yeah.
So most times it's just turn it off, but
my phone, especially if it goes beyond posting on Instagram or dialing it.
Yeah.
Hey, Jackie, help me out here.
Well, I will tell you something, and I'm sure I might hear disagreements on here because y'all do disagree with me every once in a while. But I will tell you
No, we don't.
the best invention that I've ever found is Dropbox.
I
It's
found that confusing.
It's easy to use. You can even get a free account, and you can put it on your computer. I got it on my iPhone, and me and Al I asked Al if he ever used Dropbox, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I haven't used it in years, but I have a Dropbox account." And I said, you can open up folders. Like I can go in tonight and set up a folder between me and Dixon, and anything Dixon wants to upload to me, he can do it through Dropbox. It comes straight to me. I can take a picture on my phone, on my Apple phone, and I can hit to send it to Dropbox, and within 15 or 20 seconds it'll be on my computer, and I can edit it. I can send it to anybody or whatever in Dropbox. I know Dropbox is a little older, what you would call it's been around for a long time, but it is very, very, very efficient, and it is very, very, very good. And I use it. It's on my phones. It's on all of my computers. I pay for the premium, and the only reason being is because I got so in love with Dropbox that actually everything I put on Dropbox, it saves for me. So it's a backup of a backup, so to speak. Any picture I ever take or whatever on my phone, it automatically uploads it to Dropbox and it saves it. So if I was to lose my iPhone tomorrow, I'd have all those pictures saved. But the greatest thing about it is I can create an account with, if Donna has Dropbox, I can create us a folder, and we can upload and download things continuously. I do that with Al all the time. And so it's a fantastic thing. I have it on this computer. I have it on this computer. I have them on both of my desktops. I have it on both. Like I will do, if I want to do my laser, if I want to do a file and I can create it on my desktop, I upload it to Dropbox. I walk out to my computer on my laser, turn it on, and by the time I get to my laser or to my computer and turn it on, it's already in Dropbox. I download it into a what's the name of the damn program?
Dropbox.
No, for your laser.
I have no idea.
Lightburn? Cura.
Lightburn. Yeah, it's already ready there. I load it in Lightburn and burn it. But I create it on my desktop because I have 36-inch screen, so it's easier for me to see, to create it there and just put it in the Dropbox, go out there and burn it on Lightburn.
Well, I got the same thing with Google when I got my phone. It's the same type.
Yeah, it's Google. Yeah, Google's good too. But I've just had a Dropbox.
15 gigabytes.
Yeah, the Dropbox came out way before all this other kind of stuff. They were one of the first ones, and I just always stayed with them. Yeah, they're a great company. They've never failed me. And then I pay them. I think I pay. I don't remember if it's $50 or $60 a year for a yearly subscription, but they back up everything that I upload to Dropbox. They automatically upload it and store it, and so that's when I went with the extra. So
quick
you can get a free account. I think you get so many gigs for a free account to upload and download to different friends and stuff like I'm talking about. But to have the max where they save everything you upload to it, it's like $50, $60 a year.
But I feel for Vicky, because if it weren't for necessity for my YouTube channel and stuff like that, I'd still be on a rotary phone. Oh, and except for the telemarketer.
Do y'all remember when you first got your rotary phones, it was what was it called where you could hear the other people talking on the
Party
phone?
line.
Dial tone.
A party
Yeah.
line. Yeah.
No, you're talking about party lines.
Yeah, party lines.
I remember my grandma had them.
Yeah, our first phones were party line. You had to actually pick up the phone to see if somebody was on it before you could use it.
Myrtle, get off the phone. I got to call an ambulance.
Yeah.
Okay. I was a city boy. I didn't have that, but our phone numbers, you gave the phone number out with letters for the first 3 digits.
Yeah.
My phone was CO5, CO4. Oh, CO3.
What was it?
CO3.
Junior Samples, that car lot that he had. What was his phone number?
Who's Junior Samples?
BR549.
I never. That was on huh?
BR549.
BR549. Yes. Junior Samples used to have a car lot. Yeah, call BR549 if you want to buy a good car or whatever. And I used to laugh at that.
I'm a city boy. We didn't have those things.
Yeah. Well, back in my day when I was a kid, we didn't have my address was not 43 whatsoever. Ours was like Route 10 Box 800.
Yeah.
Route 6 Box 156 or something another like that. Raleigh Road.
Yeah.
My first phone number to remember was COF9046. So that's starting to die on me. I'm starting to lose track on that one. So,
I ain't that old, but I still remember my first phone number. I don't remember my phone number now, but I remember that.
What Vicky should do that doesn't cost anything is she should build a mini server like this with a little cooling tower and put all her files on that, and then you can share it.
She'll get right on that.
Yeah.
Vicky, he's kidding, Vicky.
When we lived on the farm, when I was born and raised on a farm, our mailbox or address was Route 10 Box 800. I will never forget that. I'll always remember that. Route 10 Box 800.
And my parents never called me back in. Well, they did, but not on the phone. There was a high pitched, and I come around.
Oh, when you grew up in the city, around right when the sun's going down, the street lights are popping on. If you listen, you'll hear people's dads shouting your name from 3 blocks away.
Yes.
And if you didn't run right away, that street light pops on.
You see, I didn't live in a city because I lived in the country, but I knew good and well when I saw the sun start setting behind the trees, I knew it was time to go home. Not only was it time to go home, but Mama had dinner on the table.
Yeah. That was fun to do, though. You hear someone's dad calling your name, and the kid's not with you, but you answer for him.
Yeah.
Come home. I don't want to. And by the time the kid gets home, he's in deep trouble.
I remember a situation like that where Mama started calling me, the lady down the road, and the only way I got the message was through each one passing it along.
Did Donna go off?
Yeah. She had the grandchildren in the room.
Oh, okay. I missed that somehow. I'm trying to go through the chat to see if anybody's saying anything. And I guess
the big one is Daryl's out there, wants to see if he can come on the show again.
Sure.
Not Daryl.
Oh, yeah, sure. Contact me on Facebook. I'm sure you have my Facebook, Russell Clarity on Facebook, Russell E. Clarity on Facebook. Yes, I would love to have you back. So
we should have him back. We started him off, and now he's famous.
Yeah. So just contact me and let's set a date. I'd love to have you back.
I think he's in my state now.
MySpace.
Moving up in the world.
No, my
Who was that you said by the day? Oh, Dreadnought Workshop. Yeah. Yeah, Daryl, I talk to him every once in a while. And actually, Daryl, I got you can call me. He has my home phone number, or my cell phone number.
Hey, give it to Vicky.
Daryl, I want to talk to you also. Is
South
that
Carolina,
my
right.
and I want to find out your connection, and has nothing to do with our friendship. But yeah, he lives in
All
South
right.
Carolina now.
South Carolina, did he break down?
No, he moved. He has family up there, and he moved out from our Florida Orlando area and built him a house up there. And he also built him a very nice shop. From what I've seen, I got the hiccups. I'm sorry, and but moved up there closer to his family and built him a nice shop. He's doing very well with his sponsors, and that's pretty well. He doesn't. He works. His income pretty well comes through his sponsors now, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, that's great.
And so he's doing very good with that. I talk to him quite frequently, and but the reason I said I'd like to talk to him, and I love Daryl. He's a great, fantastic.
Careful, Daryl. He's looking for something.
Yeah, I'm looking for something. I'm having problems with my lathe, and I think the circuit board has gone out in it, and I need to ask him if he thinks I can get a circuit board through them and to repair it myself. Because if it is a circuit board, it's not really hard. It's all plug and play. I can redo it. Because when I bought the stupid machine, it came with a remote control, but I couldn't get the remote control to work. So the tech called me and said, "Do you know how to? Are you pretty good at doing stuff?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay, you know that front panel? There's 6 screws on it. Take it out." And he goes, on backside of that front panel is the circuit board. He said, "Can you read me the serial number off of that circuit board?" And I said, "Yeah." So I read it to him. And he goes, "They put the wrong circuit board in that machine. That's the reason your remote control won't work." So he says, "Can you put it in?" And I looked at it and I said, "I found 1, 2, 3, 4, connectors or whatever." And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh," I said, "Oh, hell yeah, that's easy." He goes, "Well, I'll send you a brand new circuit board." So he sent me one. I pulled it out, hooked it all up, and put it back in. And guess what? The remote control worked. So I think the circuit board has gone out in my lathe, and I wanted to talk to him to find out if he had any connections. Or I don't really necessarily need the connections. I just need to find out who I need to call to find out if they still make the circuit boards for my machine, if I can get one.
Well, there's your show. Have Daryl on and fix your lathe right here.
Yeah, and fix my lathe at the same time. Yeah, damn straight.
We all want to see you get electrocuted.
Thank you, Vicky. Vicky sent me $5. You didn't have to do that.
Oh.
I'll call you on Monday. Okay, yeah, I should be free on Monday. Yeah, just give me a call on Monday. I just need to know if they still make the circuit boards for my machine. I think you remember my machine. I'll tell you about it Monday anyway, but I'm pretty sure just the circuit board crapped out on it because it worked great. And then one day I went to turn it on, and all it does is just the screen just blinks, 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 and nothing happens. So I think it's a circuit board.
What's the first question you have to unplug it?
It's jealous of your 3D printer.
Huh?
It's jealous of your 3D printer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of lathes, when we're done with the show, post show, I got a question to ask about lathes. So,
they spin around.
it concerns geometry and physics.
I gotta send Vicky my email.
Yeah, really.
If it flies off and physically contacts you, you had a bad day.
Yeah. A worst case scenario, he says he has a spare. So
There you
awesome.
go.
That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, be honest with you, they've taken a lot of the. I'm trying to think of the name of the company that has, but it is personally a fantastic lathe.
Yeah.
It's variable controlled. When you like turn it off, it has it reverses the electrical polation as a brake to stop it. So I love the lathe, and I can't say enough about them. But they have some quirks, and part of their quirks are the circuit boards, their computer system is somewhat a little hinky on it, but I mean, you can fine tune that thing down to like 555 RPMs. I mean, it's very, very computer controlled, very, very good machine. Heavy duty. I don't have a problem with it, other than the fact they have some quirks about their electronics on it.
Daryl said woodworking shows are no more.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that the
I
other day.
saw
I
it too,
talked
yeah.
to. I'm friends with Alex Snodgrass, and that's pretty well. He said the same thing that the woodworking shows are pretty well collapsed, and that's
No,
sad.
hey, Daryl, I meant the Turners, the wood turning show. I went to that one in Chattanooga. I'm pretty sure I met you there. And but that was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
I
even know if
heard
they
they
still
were
have those.
slowly but surely going down the tubes. Well, um, their first death toll was when the company out of Atlanta
Peachtree.
Yep.
pulled out of they were their main backers.
Yeah.
They were the main supporters of them.
I mean,
Actually,
I
if
think
you went in
Peachtree
there
brought
and
all
bought
the
anything, you had to go to everything went through their Peachtree tellers, so to speak.
Yeah.
They brought all the registers, the computers, the personnel.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Yeah.
And so when, but it was the symposiums are still happening for now. That's good because that's how Daryl makes his money is through the symposiums.
Well, there's an opening there for someone to jump in and restart something.
Yeah,
They all start small to begin with. So,
but from my understanding, the reason Peachtree pulled out is because the owner's wife got cancer.
Yeah.
And he was trying to back out of a few things to give him some time to be with his wife.
Yeah, sure.
And I think his wife passed away, and I don't think he ever recovered from that. So therefore, he never went back to become a sponsor of the woodworking shows, and it pretty well went downhill from there.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I went to a model show today. It was huge turnout. Vendors were there. Vendors rows were packed. You really had to maneuver to get to the tables. But we're also all going to see again each other in October over in Orlando when the National goes on. So there are other groups that are still doing things. So if woodworking is going to drop like that, there's an opening for someone to start something. Just throwing it out there, it's worth. So I'm not going to do it.
yeah, Daryl said it ended because of low attendance. Well, I think it ended because of low attendance because Peachtree pulled out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know that. I know that without a fact. I know this is personal information because I had inside information from several people that were very main stars of the woodworking show. And Alex grass, and I'm not going to say it came from him, and I'll not confirm or deny it. But yeah, he was a very big influence as far as doing the woodworking shows. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I used to go to the Indianapolis one and get a bunch of bowl blanks.
And yes,
get them
clean
pretty
sport.
cheap here.
I did the same thing in Boston, Mass. Yeah.
I'm trying not to interrupt y'all, but in the same aspect, Clean Sports still does their Clean Sport extravaganza in October in North Carolina.
Ooh, when is it?
Every year in October, or in isn't it North Carolina, Donald?
Yeah, it's on the other side of North Carolina from me.
Yeah,
In the
they
mountains.
still do that extravaganza. They've been doing that for years and years, and that's every year.
You know what town it's in?
I think it's Hickory.
Hickory.
Yeah, Hickory. It is Hickory.
That might be a trip.
He did. Dreadnought Workshop just said yes, Hickory. Yeah,
Hickory.
So, Hickory.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm going to go back there. Matter of fact, if everything, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise, I will probably go there because I missed that. I became very good friends. He was a sponsor for a while. Clean Sport was, and so yeah, I want to try to go back there this year.
Remember that bargain box of sandpaper was like $25?
Oh,
I bought that. That thing was great.
I am still.
I still have
Me
paper
too.
out of there.
Yeah.
I have run out of the 60 grit though, so some of them.
I still have some paper out of there. So yeah,
When I
you
got
bought
that, I
this
was
like
surprised as
big
hell.
25-pound box,
Yeah.
full of all their scraps,
Yep.
but there was everything in there you could imagine.
But they were also like full rolls. To them, it was scrap.
I found a couple of good sized rolls in there. Yeah.
And my wife says, "You got a giant box delivered." I was sitting out by the garage. I'm like, okay. I went out there like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah. If I come this year and I will really try to do that, Donald, I will definitely come by and see you. Because I really want to try that. I'm not getting any. I will, Daryl. I will. I'm not getting any younger, so I need to see some of my friends and very close people that I love and care about.
But you adding a couple more hours to your trip if you come see me.
Well, that might be what my plan will be, was to take like a week. And when I say a week, so I go up there and, go by and make some plans to fly into like the middle point. What is it? Raleigh, North Carolina?
RDU.
Huh?
RDU, Raleigh Durham.
Fly into there and rent a car, and then that way I can spend a few days and go around and see my friends that all live up in that area.
I'll look at the calendar, but we've got 3 trips already planned for the fall. I don't see my wife let me squeeze a 4th one in. So.
He says he has a guest room if I need it. So, and that's another thing I used to love about going to Atlanta. Rob, who's still a good friend of mine, I met him through the woodworking shows and everything. He has a big house, and I used to fly into Atlanta. And the first day that I would get into Atlanta, I'd rent a car, and I would drive to Rob's house, and he would put me up for a night or two till the woodworking, depending on how many days I got there. I would stay with him at his house, and he has that big, huge, workshop. And I would meet all of his friends, and we would have a good time. We would do woodworking in there for the first 2 days that I was there. And then I would have my motel room, because if you remember, in the early days of the Atlanta Woodworking Show, they had a motel across the street from the Civic Center where that thing was held. So I would rent a room for 2 nights there, so I didn't have so far to travel or walk.
Yeah.
I basically would walk across the
Walk
street.
across the highway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to the woodworking show. Then we found the bridge was across. Remember that?
Yep.
We found there was a bridge across.
First day, I
And-
played Frogger with traffic. Next thing I know,
Yeah. Then we found that you could cross over a bridge. They had a walkway across the highway.
That's
And
where I
so-
met all you guys.
So that was my weekend. Spend some time with Rob and his friends, and then they would host me at their booth for doing scroll saw stuff. And then I got a couple other places that hosted me for doing things for them back in my highlight days. And then I would take the rental car to the airport and fly home. And so it was a fantastic time. I really miss the woodworking shows. It was not only that I got to spend time with Rob and what's his name? He does the records and everything, and he was always. We went to his house. And he was right around he lived in the same neighborhood with Rob. Can't think of his name. I can see him right now on my Facebook. I can't think of him. But we went and visited him and everything. Had a good time. So the woodworking shows were awesome. They were awesome. So I hate to see that they went down the tubes.
It's one of those things that
All right, guys.
you get what you put into it.
It's 9:16, 9:18. I'm already behind schedule because I told my wife I'd be through here by 9 o'clock. So once
I
again,
already texted her, told her you'd be late.
yep. I'm late again, honey. What can I say?
Yeah, I'm freezing out here.
Listen, if you're too darn busy to get out in your shop and make some sawdust, you're either lazy and you're sitting on the couch watching TV, you're not getting out and doing anything, or you're just too darn busy. So quit work and get out in your shop and make some sawdust. I mean, that's the logical thing to do. So just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching, and God
Right,
bless.
boys and girls, remember, you do not have to go home, but you cannot stay here.
Nope. Exit out the door. See, wouldn't want to be you.
Pay your tabs out the door. Come
Oh,
on.
and by the way, Vicky Ramsey, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.